You are now tuning in to the Talking with Evie podcast.
Hello, friends. I hope that everybody's having a good morning, good day. I am kind of today gonna bounce all over the place because I have so many great things and some things that has been brought to my attention about lifing. You know that this program, Talking with Evie, or this podcast, is based on women of a certain age of 60 on up, kind of reclaiming themselves because maybe of divorce, because of death to a spouse, just an empty nester. And women reinventing themselves by maybe wanting to start a business, go back to school, or whatever it is. Sometimes it's not wanting the responsibility of a business, but it's just reclaiming yourself because after you raised your children, you find yourself an empty nester. Now you don't know what to do with yourself. And then you have a lot of ideas, but you just don't know how to put them together. So that's basically what this podcast is all about. First, I wanted to talk about, and I'm kind of dating myself. I've talked with a few women and say, "Oh God, I'm just feeling overwhelmed. I just don't know what's happening to me." And so the word that I came up with, and it's always been around, is spring fever. And it's kind of the opposite of in the winter time, you have a certain feeling. And now here spring comes about and people are talking about cleaning the house and doing all these different things. So now I hear people say, "Oh, I'm so tired. I just seem to be so lazy," and all of these things. So ladies, friends, I came up with the word spring fever is what you got. It's not a condition, if it's not a health issue. It's just a mood. And you say, "Well, how do I get over this?" It will go on its own. It will go on its own. It just happens. I'm just so happy each time I get a chance to visit with you guys. I'm excited and I'm pumped because I've just been reading and trying to find out a lot of things for this podcast to help us get through this journey together. I've just and each time I'm just telling Alistair, say, "Oh, I found this out," and this the poor guy's going crazy. Say, "Oh my God, what else is she gonna talk about today?" So, like I said, I've got so many things because I'm finding out as I do this podcast that I've always known that we were awesome. You know, God knew what he was doing when he made the women. And you guys reinvent yourself in so many ways. Another thing that I want to talk about, I'm finding out through just my phone and talking with other women, there's a group of women that they've been around, I think, since 1994, something like that, and it's called Journey Women over 50. They have a website up where if you want to travel solo, because now a lot of women are traveling solo. And so what they have done, it's a whole thing that you can go, you can subscribe to them, and what they're concerned about is now they know that women are traveling a lot by themselves. And so they're giving you tidbits, they're showing you what to do. The lady's name is Carolyn Ray. And if you just go on to that website, they have a newsletter, just so many wonderful things that you guys can do. So you don't have to now think about, well, I want to travel solo, but I'm afraid. These women, you don't have to reinvent the wheel now because these women have it all kind of put out there for you on this website. You can visit the website of journeywomen.com. and all of the information that I don't have. I've never spoken to this lady personally, but I sure would like to talk with her and let her know about this podcast. And perhaps you never know that we can get together and she can tell you more, my audience more about this wonderful thing. And it's so good that you don't have to try to go and reinvent the wheel of how to do this. They've got everything right there for you. They have groups that they have retreats. They teach you about how to just, a lot of us don't even know how to have a date with ourselves, have coffee by yourself, have breakfast by yourself, and even if you're in a foreign country, what to do. So they have all the what to do and what not to do. So I suggest that you check it out. I'm not being paid for this. They're not sponsoring me. This is just information I want to give you. Another group of ladies that are have been around for a long time it's called van life, where these women 70 because of happenstance, because of life, because of monies, because of losing their homes or whatever. These women now, they have their own little groups. They have groups also where they're rebuilding their vans, their cars, and all of these different things. So a lot of times if you're feeling having spring fever right now and you just need some downtime, just go and check these things out. So often when God gives us a dream or a vision, or we decide to go on a journey of life, family, friends, don't think that you missed it. You've not missed it. So often we say, I missed it. Who, you're right back at the same thing again. Who told you to do this dumb? Then you start beating yourself up. Sometimes you just need to step back and reevaluate and know that anytime you embark on something new, something out of your comfort zone, you're going to run into problems. And like I've said before, for me, everything is spiritual because I cannot do this life without Christ. So when I get into these things and I'm there more often than I would like to be, and I go to the scripture of if God will clothe the lilies of the field, then how much more than he will do for you. And then sometimes if you got all these things, and now what happens is you are not present in your own life. You got all these fires that you're trying to put out, and it's not happening. You just run around here. You know what you got to do, but you find other things to do rather than taking care of the business at hand. That's life. That's going to happen. Don't beat yourself up. Just keep going. If you know you need help in a certain area, then get the help. If you've not been the person that took care of the finances in your marriage, in your relationship, find help. Don't beat yourself up. And don't go to all these people who are just as bad as you. They know nothing about nothing. And you all rehash this and you're right back the same way. Put your pride aside. Go to someone and say, I need help. In a business, you're starting a business, you don't know how to do it. Get on that computer. Me, the computer scares me to no end. But I have some people that I can go to. Stop shaking your head. He's here. Listen, Alistair's here shaking his head because I'm telling you, there's so many ideas I have, but when it comes to getting on that computer, I'm shaking. And I'm never scared. The only thing I'm afraid of is the elements, tornadoes, storms, anything else, I'll push the envelope. But this is one thing that just scares the bejeebies out of me. So if you need help, friends, ask for it. Another thing that I talk to my female friends, the ladies, the seniors, a lot, is some people are caregivers. You're going to get frustrated. You got all of these things, and the people, maybe family members say they were going to help. And maybe I've said this before, but I'm going to reiterate this over and over. They say they're going to come and they talk you into putting them in a facility or and no one shows up. What you need to do is find other alternative ways and not frustrate yourself and not become overwhelmed. Or you made promises to grandchildren or somewhere, and now your situation has changed and you can no longer do it. So now you got to reinvent, and you got to choose your battles. You got to know what you can and cannot do. So, we try to just fix everything, and we wind up in a state, and that's not where you want to be. So myself, as I do this podcast, I'm learning so many things, because the things I'm talking to you about today, friends, I've been there a lot of times. Many, many times. Sometimes you get in a pickle and some say, oh, I'll help you. I want God to bless me so I can help you. And they pull out. Now you're stuck and you're kind of mad with them. Don't get mad. Just go back to the drawing board. And it's never as bad as we think it is. And maybe that wasn't the person that was supposed to do this. Only God needs to get the glory out of some things that happens in your life. And we have to try. This is a lot to ingest. And these are things that I struggle with and I deal with on a daily basis. It's not just senior women that deals with this. It's any woman at any adult age. You have children, you have a life, and you come to these crossroads in your life. You have to rethink. You have to, in your mind and in your life, what's the most important thing? And you have to kind of reevaluate those things. So that's all I'm saying to you today. Be encouraged. Sometimes you guys, we are just so invested on getting things done. Got to do this. I'm a perfectionist and all of these things. What happens to perfectionists? We are frustrated and we're mad all over the place. And that's not what you want to do, because when you're angry, when you're upset, we don't make good decisions. So what I'm saying to you today, again, I'm coming to you from a standpoint. I have been in every scenario that I have said today. And I have learned when I just stood and saw the salvation of the Lord. And might have had the best plans, but God's plans was always the best in my life. So I say to you today, be present in your own life every day that God gives you. And we know, when you get a certain age, 60, 70, 80, you know that we're coming to the end, and you want to be at peace with yourself. You want to make sure that you have all of your ducks in a row, so to speak. And we're never going to get it perfect, because we're not perfect people. But I thank God every day for His grace and for His mercy, because that's ever present. Every new morning, He gives us grace, and He loves us irregardless to what. I want you guys to know how very much I love you. I think about you all the time. I'm always thinking about ways that I can bring relevant content to this podcast and not just sit here in this seat and just do some jibber jabber. I want to address the things in life that I hear, and I speak to women in my own, what's affecting us and how we feel. You're not going to feel good every day. Some days every bone in my body ache I can just get out of bed and I tell myself, who told me to do this? But once you get cranking and your day gets on, you can make it. And you have to realize you're not tailored like your friend. What your friend can do, maybe you can't do. What you can do, maybe they can. Don't let people make you feel guilty for your limitations or for your how you do things or how you get things done. That's you and that's them. And so you have to take that with a grain of salt, love your friends, and just keep it moving. Because this life is short, but I'm telling you, there's so many wonderful things on a daily basis that God gives us. This morning, I looked out of my window and there was a man. There's time for uh, putting not just fertilizer for the grass and to keep the bugs from eating the grass. And I just kind of opened the door to let him know that the key for the backyard was under the mat. And he greeted me. I don't know how I was feeling because I was thinking about all the things I wanted to bring to you. And when I began to tell him about the key, he said, "Isn't this a wonderful morning?" And I tell you, I wanted to go and hug him, but for fear he might have think old lady gone wild. But I was so happy to hear, and I said, yes, it is a wonderful day. So I'm going to end this segment of the podcast. Isn't this a wonderful day to have a wonderful day? Be blessed. I love you. Come back and see me because I always got some new stuff for you.